Yeah, welcome to my presentation. I'm going to show you the things that we did in the Ghana dashboard during the last month. So it's been quite a while since our last update. So there have been a few releases since then. So maybe some of the functionality I'm going to show you today you already have seen. My name is Lukas, and I'm going to show you the things that I developed together with my colleagues. So their names on the slide here. Okay, so let's start. So the first thing I'm going to show you is that you are now able to trigger cluster actions directly from the cluster list. So you have previously you had to navigate to the cluster details screen and trigger actions from there. So you can now do it more easy from the cluster list. So basically, this helps you if you want to do an action for different clusters, so you don't have to navigate to each of them. Yeah, then you may know that Gardener can tag projects as stale if they are not used anymore, and Gardener also can add a deletion timestamp when this project is getting auto-deleted. And we show this as a warning in the dashboard now. We show it in the project list in the main menu, as you can see on the left screenshot. And you can also see this information on the administration page for a project, where you can also see when this project is going to be deleted. Then a thing that we added is that you are now able to configure the IOP value for AWS volumes. There are some volume types that require this to be configured, and so it was kind of you were not able to select a volume type, like for example IO1 volume type, and directly create a worker with this volume type with the dashboard, because the IOP values needed to be configured and was impossible with the UI. So I think it makes totally sense that we now support this also on the dashboard. Another thing that we added is that we now read the network extensions that are deployed on a Gardener landscape. So you can now choose which networking type you want to use for your cluster. When you create a new cluster, you can just select it in the infrastructure details section. And so this is, I think, a great feature, because you might not even be aware of which networking extensions were installed. And so you can now easily see it if you click on the drop down, and you will get all of the available ones. Yeah, so another thing that we added is that we moved the information about the dashboard version and the Gardener version from the main info menu. Let's call it like this. So you see here in the right screenshot, if you click on the question mark in the top bar of the dashboard, you get this menu here, and in this menu we show the version just below this heading here. And we now decided to create a dedicated dialog for it, because we also wanted to show more information. You can see here in this info dialog, we now also show information about the deployed extensions. Just as a side note, this is only visible if you have admin privileges on this landscape. So if you are a regular user, you will still only see the dashboard version and also the Gardener version. You don't see the Gardener version in the screenshot because I did it locally, but you would also see the Gardener version here. I think it's a useful feature if you tracing down issues and you want to know which version of or a specific extension is deployed. We now also evaluate the maintenance precondition-satisfied constraint. So if a cluster does not fulfill this constraint, then we show a warning if you try to schedule a maintenance. You would also see the reason for this, or maybe a more detailed error message, like in the screenshot here is only maintenance currently not possible. You probably get a better message in a real scenario. But yeah, so I think it's important that we also show this in dashboard, and you will also see an error or a warning icon next to the cluster name in the cluster list. So you will immediately see if a cluster has issues, and you can try to track them down. So yeah, regarding the maintenance time zone handling, let's call it like this, we did a change here. So you see here in the left side of the screen, you see this YAML here, and there you can see the hibernation and the maintenance section as it is defined in a chute. And you can see that in the hibernation section, we have the possibility to define a location, while in the maintenance section, we can only set a time zone or an offset to UTC. And previously, we showed a location also for maintenance in the dashboard, and this was kind of wrong, right? So in this example, you see here that for a hibernation schedule where you are actually able to define a location, in this example here, this hibernation schedule would always wake up this cluster at 8 a.m. in the Europe-Berlin time zone. So if you are located in Europe-Berlin, this cluster would always start at 8 a.m., reflecting daylight saving settings and everything. But for maintenance, we are not able to do this. So in the old UI, we try to calculate when this maintenance would happen in your local time zone and showed your local time zone next to the calculated begin time. But this caused some kind of confusion, so we now decided that we really show what is defined in the YAML. So as you can see here, we exactly show the begin time together with the time zone or the offset to UTC. So this is something that you will now notice that you will see this times now in this format and also in the overview. Another thing that we changed here is that we fixed a bug that we did not keep the maintenance window size. What I mean by this is that you can see here that in the YAML there's a begin and an end time defined. So this particular maintenance window would have three hours. You are only able to change the start time in the UI. And if you are only using the dashboard, we always set the time window or the maintenance time window to 1 hour. But if you manually changed or extended this time zone window to, like in this example, 3 hours, we now keep this and just move the window to the new begin time. Yeah, another thing that we changed is that we now have a new login page. So this is the old one. So we did this because we wanted to give the different login types more attention, so that you better see which different login types are available. So here you see there's a login and also a bearer token login, but it's not really visible. So this was one of the reasons. So just look like it's now like this. And you see here that we now have the login types as a tab strip. You can easily change them and see that they are available. And there's another reason why we did this change. The old login page was not really built with Beautify, so we use Beautify to build our dashboard application, and this old login page was kind of detached from the actual application, and to keep everything homogeneous and give it the same look and feel, we decided to rebuild this login page. Yeah, talking about design and changes to the UI, we also now introduced theming. So you are now able to do, to a certain degree, influence the colors and also the icons and logos that we use in the dashboard. So I hope that this will help people out there that already adapted the dashboard to their brand or custom theming. So it makes it easier now to apply themes and without touching the code, change the look and feel or appearance of the dashboard. So it hopefully helps you to adapt it to your needs, and it makes it easier for you to update to new dashboard versions as you need to change fewer things in the code. There's a documentation where we where you can see what you can change and what you need to do to get your custom theme applied. It's in our documentation folder on GitHub. So what you can see here is that is our dashboard cluster overview page, as you may know it, with our blue theme, and now with a custom color theme color applied, this would look like this. So we now only change the primary color. You could also change other colors. And this is, by the way, one step to the new look and feel of the dashboard. So we decided in our last release that we had yesterday that we now change the default color to a more greenish color. So not exactly this one, but a similar one. We did this because we wanted to align more with the Gardener colors that are used also in other places. So we now use colors that are used in the Gardener logo and also on the gardener.cloud webpage. So now that we have theming, we thought that it's maybe, it was a feature that was requested lots of times, that we introduce a dark mode, so a dark mode theme. You can now click, if you click on your avatar in the right top corner of the screen, you will get your account menu, and there is now this flag where you can enable the dark mode. So now the dashboard can be also used with dark mode applied. So you can choose if you would like to have it in dark mode or in light mode. Currently, you need to switch this on your own. It is saved, but we plan to also use the system settings to decide if the default theming of the dashboard is dark or light mode. But currently, you need to set it by yourself. Okay, another thing that we changed is, or greatly improved, is the member management. So one thing that we added here is that you are now able to manage all kind of service accounts. So before, you were only able to manage service accounts that have an actual role in this project. You can now see and manage all service accounts. So also service accounts that have no role in the project. You can add foreign service accounts, and you can add a description to a service account. This is a good feature to describe what a service account is used for, so that in large projects, service accounts that do not get deleted accidentally. We remove the technical contact section or technical contact card from the member management page, and renamed all occurrences of this technical contact term to owner. The reason for this is that now the owner is more or less only a role for a specific member, And yeah, we wanted to reflect the shoot YAML or the project YAML better here. Another important feature that we added is that we now are able to rotate service account secrets, which is kind of useful if you leaked a secret or if you just wanted to rotate a secret. And yeah, last but not least, we now show the members in tables. So the members and the user accounts and the service accounts are now in real tables. They were already in lists before, but now we use tables. So this is the old page, just so that you see the difference. So this technical contact section here on the top, we remove this completely. And we now have two tables. You can see that the owner is now a role next to a reuser. You can now use the features that we have in other tables also here, like sorting. You can also filter. There's no filter box here because you can only filter if there are more than 3 entries. You can you can use paging and stuff like that. Okay, talking about redesign of pages. So we also redesigned our secret page. So this is the old secret page with the different cloud providers in cards, very colorful. And the new page looks like this. So it's also featuring a table. You can also use sorting, you can use filtering and paging and so on. So you may ask why we did this. So there are several reasons. So the first reason is that we wanted to align. So with this latest release, we now have all pages aligned. We used everywhere where we have lists, we use a table. We have everywhere the same features like sorting and filtering, paging, and also we wanted to make it easier to add new infrastructures to the dashboard. So you need now less components if you want to add a new infrastructure. Another reason is that we plan to support other secret types, so not only infrastructure secrets, but also, for example, DNS provider secrets. And with the old page, it wouldn't have been easy to add different secret types there. So we now have a cleaner page. We have more space. We have, I think a better way to visualize the different secrets. And so this is also a very nice feature that we introduced. You can now define custom fields on a project. These fields can be displayed on the cluster list and also on the project details page. And this these custom fields can contain any information that is available in the shoot YAML. So you can also display things that you added by yourself. So things like labels or annotations that you add to your shoots. You could show them in the dashboard. There's also a documentation for this available. It's linked here. So what does this look like? So in this example, you see the definition for two custom fields. So one is on the on the left side of the screen. You see the definition for the two custom fields: shoot status and networking type. In the project administration, if you now click on one of these custom fields, you can see on the right side of the screen a large pop-up where you can see how this field is defined. And you can also see things that you can configure for your custom field here. So you can define the icon, how it's called, the tooltip, where it's getting the data from, and also things like where it should appear in the shoot list or only on the shoot page, details page, or how it is sorted in in the table and things like that, and if it's searchable and sortable, things like that. So how does this look like in action? Here you see the custom fields that were defined on the administration page. You can see on the left side how it looks on the cluster list. You can see that you can select it in the table options. It has a small indicator that this is a custom field. You can see that it's shown here. On the right side of this in this screenshot here, in this screenshot on the right, you see that the custom fields have a dedicated section on the cluster list. On the cluster details page, you can see that this networking type is only visible here because it's configured like that. And yeah, so as I said, this is a feature that was actually requested, and I think it's a great way to to use the dashboard and adapt the dashboard to your needs, and can greatly improve the value of the dashboard if you can use the dashboard now to show also values that you need to see for your cluster. Yeah, so we now support end user garden terminals. So as an end user, you are now able to use the terminal feature of the dashboard to connect to the garden cluster, garden API server. So you can now open a terminal that points to the API server, garden API server, and use it to administrate your projects and interact with your with the garden API server just as you can with your local terminal. Just a side note, you will need to have a running cluster that you have access to create a garden terminal, as you require for all terminals if you are not a privileged user. So if you're a regular user of the dashboard, you always need a cluster where you can schedule your terminal. Yeah, and this is my last slide, or my last update I want to share. So we greatly improved our error handling. So if you now run into an error, like not found or forbidden, or even a server error, you will see a nice error page. You will not lose the context that you are in, so you can always navigate back to the cluster list, or when you are on, for example, if you are on a cluster details page and this cluster gets deleted, you will see this not found error here, and without reloading the page. And then if on another browser window or another user recreates a cluster of the same name, you would instantly see here on your page that the error vanishes, and you will see the cluster creation. And yeah, as I said, I think it's a great improvement that we now have nice and clean error pages and that you don't lose the context. Yeah, so that's my presentation. So let's have a look at the time. Okay, so 2 minutes left. If you want, I can quickly show you the new dashboard, how you can enable the dark mode, how it changes the UI instantly. So you can see here now, this is the Gardener dashboard. If I now click on my avatar here and enable the dark mode, it will instantly turn to dark, and you can see that everything also is nicely shown and visible also in dark mode. We can switch back. Yeah. And one thing I want to show you before I stop is that here on the secrets page, you can now add new secrets here. This is something we changed on all screens now, that because we all everywhere where we have this table layout, also on the cluster list, you will notice that the plus buttons on the bottom are no longer available. They are now moved here. So if you search for the create cluster button, it's now located here. The reason is that we want to use the space that we have available more efficiently, because we had this large padding here, the margin here on the right. So we wanted to use the space as efficient as possible. So yeah, coming back to the secrets page, if I now add a new secret, you will see that the help, the help screen has all been integrated in the create or edit secret screen. So you can now click on this help icon here, and the documentation or the help will open side by side, just if you are wondering where this has moved. Yeah, so basically that's all from my side. Are there any questions? Maybe.
Thank you for presenting. If there are questions, everyone's able to unmute now.